Good day, my friend. Hope you guys are doing well. You are here with Darryle, two gringos on the Gulf. Thanks for hopping on. Appreciate it. Running a little bit behind. So today we're doing our live at 8 p.m. Eastern Central Time. Change up the time a little bit. So a little bit later now instead of 7 Eastern Central Time with the time change. So I figure this will be a little bit better for everybody. So we'll see how it goes. So thanks for hopping on. Appreciate it. So we're going to keep this short and sweet, just like me. Short and sweet. Welcome. So if you're new to our channel, my name is Darryle. We are two gringos on the Gulf, Jennifer and Darryle. Moved to Mexico October 2021, just over 4 years now. We've been traveling around Mexico, and we've decided to settle here in Puerto Morelos. Spent 2.5 years in the Yucatan, Merida area, mostly at the beach, Progreso, Chicxulub, and then a year in Veracruz, Jalapa. We did spend about 2 months in Coatepec. So we were in Coatepec for a couple months, and then from Coatepec, we moved to Jalapa. Now, if you're not familiar with Veracruz, Coatepec is only about 15 minutes from Jalapa. It's a Pueblo Magico, beautiful little town, absolutely beautiful. 15 minutes from the capital city of Veracruz, Jalapa with an X. And then from there, we went to Oaxaca. Now, we spent about a little better than a month in Puerto Escondido. And then from there, we went to Huatulco. Now, we were going to settle in Puerto Escondido, but Jennifer really wasn't feeling the vibe. And the house that we were living in really didn't work out too well. It was kind of an open concept, a living area. So we had a lot of rain, and we were getting rained on when we were doing our cooking. The bedroom and bathroom was all totally sealed and was okay. But the kitchen, dining room area was exposed to the elements other than a palapa roof. And they had a loft bedroom upstairs. It was pretty cool. Like, it was a very cool place. It looked really cool, but it really was not practical. You can tell I got some sun today. Look at that. There are my sunglasses. So we were at the beach all day today, and we had a great day there. Fabulous Sunday at the beach. Busy. Lots of gringos, lots of locals, a lot of local tourists, I do believe, as well. I think the locals come from Cancun. The locals come from the surrounding area around Puerto Morelos. They're coming from Cancun. They're coming from Playa del Carmen. They're coming from inland, the small little villages, to spend a day at the beach. In Puerto Morelos, it's not quite as busy as Cancun or Playa del Carmen. So I do believe that a lot of locals are coming here to spend the day at the beach because it's beautiful here. It's like a small little fishing village, a nice little quaint town. Not too touristy. Obviously, we're in the Caribbean, in Mexico, so it is obviously touristy. But compared to Playa del Carmen or Cancun, it's not like overboard, right? So it's a pretty nice little place. So man, these glasses were they ever filthy? So I do believe that a lot of people are coming here from the surrounding areas as well. So, and obviously the colonial side as well. People that are on the colonial side are going to the beach, But I do think that people are coming from Cancun and Playa del Carmen as well to go to the beach here because, like I said, it's a nice little day trip, right? A half hour, like we're a half hour from Playa del Carmen, half hour from Cancun. Short little day trip, spend the day here in Puerto Morelos. So, yeah, we had a great time. We took the car down there today. We decided to bring our chairs versus sitting on the sand. So we did that. We brought our chairs and towels. We brought our snorkel. We got the full face snorkel. We really like that thing. So Jennifer and I will just share it. So, but it works great. And we packed a lunch. We brought a cooler. We brought some egg salad sandwiches. Jennifer made some homemade bread, and it was pretty darn good, I must say. We had to modify the recipe. I helped her with the recipe, so it was pretty gooey. So if you follow the recipe online making stuff, it doesn't always turn out the way you expect. So But anyway, it worked great. We modified the recipe together, and she made a good loaf of bread. So we don't eat a lot of bread, so it was kind of a treat. And I felt like having egg salad sandwiches, which we will have once in a while when we go to the beach. We'll make egg salad sandwiches. You can't go wrong with a good egg salad sandwich. So that's what we did today. It was great after church. So we went to church this morning, and then we went to the beach. So we really like going to this church here. It's really nice. It's held in a restaurant versus inside a oh oh got a glitch going on here. Sorry, hold on. There we go. I don't know what's going on with this crazy camera. Sorry about that. So we really like the this restaurant here. The restaurant. We really like the church that's inside of a restaurant. So it's they're very welcoming, and we really enjoy going there. So it's it helps both Jennifer and I. We really enjoy it. So yeah, with that being said, what else is new? Not a heck of a lot. We're really enjoying our time here. We really are. We haven't been out on the bikes too terribly much. We went out the other day. We tried to bike to the snow tay, but Jennifer didn't have much battery left. So instead of running her battery right down, and the road was pretty narrow too. So there was a lot of traffic. There was a big bus that went by and was like this far away from me. I'm like, okay, get me off this road. So it was quite busy. So with her battery dying, not much power in it. I think she had one bar by the time we got to where we were going. So we just turned around and came back. So we were out for probably a half hour. That was a half-hour bike ride, nothing too crazy. So, and then we didn't end up going out again. So we ended up just saying, oh, I've been working on videos. So I've mentioned it a couple times. I'm doing some video editing for a dear friend of mine. So doing that and then working on my own videos. So yeah, and then what else is new? Oh, we went out for Thanksgiving. That's right. So happy Thanksgiving to all you Americans out there, Americanos in the USA. I know it's your Thanksgiving weekend, and we had decided to go out for Thanksgiving, Jennifer and I. We were craving some turkey, and we noticed a lot of restaurants were offering Thanksgiving dinner. So we're like, hey, let's go have some turkey. Who doesn't want turkey and pumpkin pie, right? So, and there was a lot of restaurants here that were offering that as a special for welcome, Sean. Thanks for hopping on. Yellow first red. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's cutting out part of the message for some reason. Something about metal. So anyway, the turkey dinner was absolutely amazing, and we did make a short little video on it, and it's going to drop tomorrow. We kind of wanted to do a feel-good video, and I noticed a few people asking in the Facebook groups, can I get turkey dinner anywhere in Mexico? Where can I go for turkey dinner? So I won't speak for every area, but I know here, and I've seen it in Progresso as well, the restaurants are offering turkey dinner because there's a lot of Americans, and Canadians there, right? So they're catering to Canadians and Americans. A lot of restaurants, they want your business. So they're whipping you up a turkey dinner with stuffing in the whole 9 yards and gravy and all the fixings, pumpkin pie, everything. So we did go out once in Progresso as well for Thanksgiving dinner. Again, I think we went for the American Thanksgiving. So the Canadian Thanksgiving is a month before the American Thanksgiving, if you didn't know that. So our Thanksgiving is a little bit earlier. So as the Canadians, Jennifer and I will go out both times because who doesn't love turkey dinner, right? Again, who doesn't love turkey dinner? So we'll celebrate both the American and the Canadian Thanksgiving to get turkey dinner. Oh, why not? So, and it was quite busy actually. The restaurant where we went at La Serena, that's the gringo hangout here. It was quite busy. There was a lot of people there. So, but the turkey dinner, like I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. So the video drops tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You can check it out. I'm not going to tell you the prices or anything. So I got the prices in there and all that. But spoiler alert, it was really good. It was really, really good. And the gravy was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. We had stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, and I had a brain freeze with the vegetables. With the again, I'm having a brain freeze for the for Brussels sprouts. For the Brussels sprouts. I haven't had Brussels sprouts in so long. I forgot what they were. I was making the video and I'm like, okay, what are those green things? Those green balls, a little baby cabbage. What are those called? Oh, Brussels sprouts. That's it. I haven't had them for so long. So I'll usually what I do when I make my Brussels sprouts is, oh, these were good. But I like to fry mine in bacon and onion because who doesn't like bacon? You can't go wrong with fried bacon. Bacon, onion, salt, pepper, butter. So pre-boil them first, parboil them, and then saute them in bacon and onion and salt and pepper. Oh man, they're to die for. But these were pretty good. I mean, they were pretty plain. They were just Brussels sprouts. They weren't overly seasoned or anything. Cornbread, yes. Cornbread is the best. Yes, absolutely. Oh, cross-culture exchange is a good thing. Yes, absolutely, for sure, 100%. I'm still trying to figure out what you're talking about, the metal, yellow first red. You still about yes, absolutely, 100%. Well, you can't go wrong. I mean, having turkey or even a ham. So I believe when we were in Progresso, we had both. We had the ham and the turkey both at the place we were at there. So hopefully my camera doesn't glitch again. I don't know what the heck. I didn't even touch anything and it's acting up. Oh, crazy, crazy electronics. Well, thanks for hopping on. I really appreciate it. If we have any malfunctions, don't worry. I'm going to fix it real quick because I'm kind of a techie guy a little bit and I'm used to malfunctions. So I'll try to get on it right quickly. So if I happen to lose you, don't go nowhere. Just think of it as a commercial break. Well, maybe go take a pee. It's your chance to go to the bathroom or maybe grab some water or get some popcorn. I'm gonna grab my water over here. Speaking of water, without touching the table too terribly much. Sorry, I'm pleasantly parched today. So the beach, I don't know about you guys, but the beach wears me out, man. We were at the beach for almost 4 hours today in the sun. We didn't bring the umbrella. Like I said, we just brought the chairs. And yeah, I get played out when I get home. I'm like, I'm ready for a nap. So I had a nice hot shower to wash the salt off me because we did go in the water quite a few times. I did more than Jennifer, which I always do though. So, but you can tell I got some sun. Like, wow, see it in my face. So you can. Took some Mexican friends for a barbecue here this past Friday, but they did not really like the sweet baked beans. Well, I love baked beans and sweet baked beans. Yeah, so in molasses, it gives it a little bit of sweet flavor. I don't know how sweet they were, but um, the baked beans at Tony Roma's. I remember I worked at a Tony Roma's once for a short period of time. Because mostly I cooked in hotels, but I did work at a Tony Roma's when I was kind of in between jobs before I started working at I believe at St. Albert Inn. Yeah, so I worked at the Tony Roma's before I went over to the St. Albert Inn at the hotel there, and I worked at the Tony Roma's on St. Albert Trail just outside of Edmonton. And I really enjoyed it actually. Like I love the food there is pretty good. But I remember they had the beans were really good at Tony Roma's. So I don't know what it's like in the USA, but yeah, you can't go wrong with a good plate of ribs either. So, I like a good barbecue, no doubt about that. No doubt. Who doesn't though, right? And like same, who doesn't like a good turkey, you know? So So yeah, the video that's dropping tomorrow is relatively short. It's only about 13 minutes long, a little better. So we drive down there. I give you a little bit of view of the driving. It was raining out, so I didn't fly the drone or anything. It was raining out, kind of off and on. It was a cloudy, cool day, and then we drove through some big puddles. We drove there, and then we were like pressured for time, so we went straight to the restaurant. We parked a few blocks away in our usual spot. It's pretty busy down there for parking, so usually we end up walking. Like it's a pretty small town, but like you can pretty much walk. You can walk everywhere all over town. It's very small. Like you can walk from one end to the other, no problem, quite easily. But anyway, we parked and we walked to the restaurant, and then after dinner, so we had our dinner. Well, we had a couple drinks too. Jennifer had 2 drinks, so she was boozing it up there. Texi Mexi we had, and they were like 195 pesos. Hey, Christopher, thanks for hopping on, my friend. So yeah, I'll tell you the price of that. You can do the math on that. I did the math in the video, you can see, but it's they were 195 pesos. So with the drinks and everything, I mean, it was a little bit pricey, the meal, but to be expected because we ate a lot. Like it was a good size. The portion was good size, and we had the dessert. We had pumpkin pie with ice cream, so that was a little bit extra with the ice cream. And we had 3 drinks. I had 1. Jen had 2. I said, "Well, living with me, you better have that extra drink." She's like, "Yeah, right." She was just teasing me though. so so yeah, anyway, it was a little bit pricey. Then after we ate, we had the pumpkin pie. Jennifer had 2 drinks. And like I said, it was pretty busy in there. We sat out on the patio area outside. Like they have a rooftop, like it's second level, and then the third level is for like if they have a big event or a special event or whatever they'll open the third level. But you can go up top. There's a restaurant up there as well. I'm not really exactly sure how that works, but I know there is another level to it that I've never gone up to yet. So but anyway, we sat outside on the patio, the deck, I guess, and you can see the ocean from there, kinda. So, and then after that, we went for a walk. We walked the square for a little bit, and then yeah, then we went to the shore, to the ocean. We walked along. They got a like I don't want to say it's a Malecon, but there's kind of an area where the sign is. It's kind of like a cemented park area. It's not really a Malecon. And then you can walk down to the pier from there, and it's all cemented and it's done up. The tree is there. They got the tree up now. They put the tree up already, so it's not fully decorated. It wasn't lit up, but they had the star on top, and there was lights, but they didn't have it turned on. But it wasn't fully decorated yet. So they got the tree up anyway. It's pretty big too. Yeah, it was fun anyway. We had a good night. It was a lot of fun. And we went home with full bellies, like we were pretty full. we're full. So, so that was part of our evening. Oh, and we skipped our Friday aquasize because it was raining out. So yeah, we didn't go on Friday to the aquasize. So I can't remember if the dinner was Friday or Saturday. God, all the days are running. I think it was Saturday, the dinner. Yeah, I think the dinner was Saturday. So, but yeah, Friday was kind of cloudy and rainy, so we didn't bother going to the aquasize. And Jen had a meeting too, so she didn't go because she had a meeting, and I didn't go because the weather was kind of crappy. So I'm like, I don't feel like you're not going, I'm not going. So I ended up not going to the aquasize. But yeah, and it was Saturday was a turkey dinner, and then today we just went to the beach. So yeah, I've been sleeping in lately. I don't know why, but I've been staying up late, like to midnight, 12:30, which is odd for me. Usually I go to bed like 10, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then playing my phone for my tablet or whatever for an hour, and then yeah, usually I go to sleep around 11, but lately I don't know. I've been up till midnight playing on my phone and my tablet and everything. So tired. And then today with the beach, I mean, So we're done church at like 11:30. So church runs from 10 o'clock till 11:30. So it's about an hour and a half in the restaurant. And there's a lot of people there. I suspect a lot of them are snowbirds. So I suspect it's going to, like here, I suspect it's going to clear out a little bit. So, but it's a really good crowd there. So anyway, from 10 to 11:30 is the church, and we took the car to church versus our bikes because we were going to the beach. So, and I wanted to bring the chairs. So last time we went to the beach, we didn't bring anything but our towels. So this time we brought the chairs. We usually go north on the beach, like away from the bathroom. So you have the Malecon area where the sign is. And then if you just keep going north from there, is they park the boats right along there. So, and there's a few restaurants and beach clubs in that area, but the beach is not really all that great because the boats are parked there. They tie the boats up there. And then beyond that, at the bathrooms is where the beach really starts, like the public beach. So they have bathrooms there, and then the guards are there, and the ladies are at the bathroom collecting your money and whatnot. So from there, going north is the beach, but we usually go even beyond that, a little bit further north, and it's just quieter. So like down towards the Seven Resort Hotel or whatever it's called. So we'll go down there. I think it's the Sevens or something. I don't know what it's called. Let me look. Let me check quickly on the map here, because now it'll bug me if I don't look. Oh, the Fives. Sorry, the Fives, not Sevens. The Fives. The Fives, oceanfront, all exclusive. It looks like a really nice hotel. My friend stays there. So we'll go not quite that far, because beyond the Fives is really nothing. Well, there's more resorts further north down the coast, but as far as the beach goes, there's really nothing. They pile the seaweed just beyond there. So, and then apparently there's a nude beach beyond there. So there's not a nude beach, but like a clothing optional resort further down. One of them, Desire Riviera Maya Resort. So it's clothing optional apparently. So one day Jennifer and I were walking down the beach, and like the resort is behind a wall, kind of like a half a wall or whatever. But anyway, we're walking down there, and they don't really have a designated beach area per se. I don't think. If they do, it's very small. Maybe they do, but it's very small. But anyway, before we got there was a whole group of people sitting along the wall, like further south from that resort, like a group of older people. And I'm like, we're walking up there, and as I'm walking, I'm looking, and I'm thinking, I see a lot of skin. I'm seeing a lot of skin. I go to Jennifer. We're, I don't know, a couple 100 yards away or whatever, right? You can just see if there's a big group of people there, older people. And I'm like, I don't think those people have clothes on. She's like, what? I'm like, no, I don't think they have clothes on. I'm seeing a lot of skin. So we're walking. And as I'm getting closer, I'm like, okay, these people are naked. There's like 8 of them sitting there and huddled in a little group there, all buck ass naked. I'm like, okay, so this is the nude area over here. But they weren't in the resort. They weren't on the resort. They were out of the resort. So, and then when we walked by the resort, I kind of looked, and I'm like, okay, it looked like this guy's walking down to the pool and his junk is hanging all over the place. He was quite a ways back, and I just kind of did a one take. It's like, did I just see more nakedness? So I'm like, okay. So I get my phone out, and I'm like, I Google it. Is there a nude resort? Sure enough, yeah, it is. The Dreams, or whatever it's called, Desire Pearl, is a clothing optional resort for adults only. So obviously in certain areas, like it said down by the pool, and not in the lobby or anything, but in the pool area, and then wherever else. But like, it was clothing optional if you wanted to. You didn't have to participate if you didn't want to. It was saying all, I was like, okay, well, good to know. Now I know there's a nude beach over here. So I just like it's quite comical anyway. Like you could from a long ways away, I could see a lot of flesh. Like I don't see any clothing. I don't see no bathing suits. I'm just seeing a lot of flesh, and it was all elderly people. I won't elaborate. So anyway, it's quite funny anyway. So we just kind of walked by and hi, hola, just kept looking straight ahead and kept on going. So and then we come back, they were still there. So, but anyway, it was quite comical anyway. So now we know. So if you're curious, there you go. If you like the clothes, I have no problem with it. I mean, whatever. It's natural, human body, whatever, right? They're in their birthday suit. Do what you want. Free world, free will. Do whatever you want. It does not bother me one bit. It doesn't bother me one bit. So teach their own. So if you're interested, there you go. There is Desire Pearl. Check it out. Yeah, no kidding about the sargasm, right? What a fantastic bit. Well, I did see they are utilizing it for energy. So it'll break down, right? So, and it can produce gases, right? So I just seen something about it online about the sargasm. So here in Mexico. So quite comical anyway. Yeah, the elderly getting their groove on. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. There might have been one or two there that might have been in their 40s, but most of them looked like they were senior citizens. But I think there might have been a couple there that might have been a little bit younger. So, and then the guy that I seen walking in my peripheral vision there that was at the resort, he was definitely a younger guy, like in his 40s. He wasn't like 60 or anything. He was a tall, younger guy for sure. So, anyway, things you see that you don't want to see. Anyway, so we walked down for quite a ways, Jennifer and I had biked down there the other couple weeks ago on the road. So on the other side of the resorts, I'd bike down there, and it's all full of resorts all down there. It's all resorts. There's what is it? There's what else is over there? Ocean Coral's over there. Yeah, there's quite a few resorts over there. There's lots. So, and it's actually outside of Puerto Morelos. I don't think you would consider that part. It's not part of the town. It's a little ways out, maybe a kilometer or two, but you can follow the coastal highway right from Puerto Morelos back in there. And yeah, all the resorts are back in there. I was just out for a joyride on my bike. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. I was by myself. Jen was working. So I went out on the bikes and rode down there. I rode as far as I could go, and it does come to a dead end. So I couldn't go all the way to Cancun, unfortunately. That would have been really cool if I could have rode the dirt road all the way to Cancun. It was pavement for the most part, but I think there was a couple sections that were more sand than pavement. So, but it was like a farm road, cow path road. Just narrow asphalt road for deliveries and stuff. And, there was accesses from the highway that were going, east and west from the main highway coming into the resorts there. So people getting shuttled to the resort, right? There was a few shuttle vans driving around down there, and then a lot of delivery trucks and whatnot coming in the back entrances there. So yeah, we've had a fair bit of rain here the last little while. It's been raining off and on. So not like crazy, but like a pretty good downpour, and then it'll let up. And so like right now it's 27. It did rain a little bit today. This morning when we got up, it was raining, and then it was nice. The sun came out. It was nice. I think it got up to like 28 today, 29. Celsius. And then tomorrow is supposed to be sunny all day. And then they're calling for rain again. But like I said, it usually doesn't last. It just says partial chances of showers for the next right up till Friday. But like I said, it usually doesn't last very long. And it's a warm rain. Yeah. So tomorrow or Tuesday, I guess it's supposed to start at 30% chance of showers. So yeah, I see that a lot of people asking about the weather. Oh, it's calling for rain every day. So if you plan on coming here, I mean, don't worry about it because it usually doesn't rain for very long. And it's a warm rain. It's not like a cold rain like back home in Eastern Canada or in Edmonton, Alberta, or even a Vancouver rain. It's a tropical rain. So it's a warm rain and it doesn't last very long, usually. So it usually blows over pretty quick. So with that being said, don't go by the forecast because they can't predict the weather. They still can't predict the weather. So another common thing I see people asking is about the currency. People asking, what currency should I bring? I'm going to Mexico. And a lot of these, I think a lot of them are people that have never been to Mexico before. They're asking, what currency should I bring? Well, I don't. I just tell people, bring the currency, the country you're going to. So if I'm going to go to Asia, the Philippines, and I'm going to use whatever currency they use in the Philippines, and it's no different here in Mexico or in the USA. If you're in the USA, you're going to use American money. If you're in Canada, you're going to use Canadian money. Well, it's no difference here in Mexico. Bring pesos. Now, it's okay to tip in American money, but not Canadian money. Do not tip them Canadian money. They don't want your monopoly money from Canada. The banks won't even take it. Like here, the banks will take the American money here, but they won't even take the Canadian money. Like if I took Canadian money into the BBVA and tried, like, they'd probably just go, I don't want that. So it's okay to tip in American money, but bring pesos. We used to bring American money for tipping when we first started coming here because that's what everybody said. Bring American dollars. But it really doesn't matter. You don't have to. You can tip in their currency. They're very grateful to have their pesos just as much as the $1 American bill. And that's what we used to do. We used to bring a lot of $1 bills. We would order American $1 bills for tipping at the bar and tipping in the restaurants, and leaving the house cleaner tips. So we'd always tip the chambermaids, tip the bartenders, tip the serving staff, right? And we found tipping the chambermaids was a great thing to do because they would leave you extra stuff, like give you extra coffee, extra cream, extra chocolates, or a bag of chips, or an extra beer, or Coke, or whatever. They would give you extra stuff if you tip them. So we would leave the cleaners, the chambermaids, like $3, $4, sometimes $5, $5 every day. Put a $5 American $5 bill on the pillow for them every day. So, and then with the drinks, we would tip $1. That's a very common question I see a lot of people asking. How much do I tip? Well, what we did, we always tip 15 to 20% in the restaurants, depending, on the service and the food. That's what we tip here, 15 to 20%, same as what we do back home. No different. And then for drinks, we would tip $1. So either equivalent of $1 in pesos, American dollar, or $1 American dollar, or the equivalent in pesos. And then for the chambermaids, I believe we would usually leave $5. We would usually leave $5, $3 or $5 depending. So every day leave $3 to $5 on the pillow, and you get better service too. And same when you're drinking, you'll get better service because that bartender, he's gonna go, okay, I'm gonna go serve the guy that's giving me $1 every time I go over there versus the gringo that's not giving me a penny. So who am I going to serve first? The guy that's giving me money, right? So, and for me, I worked in the hospitality industry my whole life. So I understand how the tipping culture works. And we really do, and they really do appreciate the tips. Like when I cooked in the restaurants, I fully appreciated even a compliment. A waitress would come back and say, "Oh, the customer said to tell the chef that the meal was fabulous and the steak was perfect or whatever." Like people really appreciate a compliment, whether it be monetary or just a verbal compliment. People appreciate it. I know I did. I was like, "Oh, hallelujah. Thank God. I did something right. Thank God." And it's nice. It's a nice feeling to be complimented and to be tipped for your service, or to be complimented for your service as well. I mean, even without the tip, just a compliment. "Hey, you're doing a great job, sir. I appreciate your speediness on bringing me my drinks, my menu, my salsa, my taco, whatever." Just even a verbal compliment goes a long ways, So for sure, for sure. Yeah, no, they don't want your Canadian monopoly money. Nobody wants your Canadian monopoly money, Chris. I don't want it, that's for sure. Yeah, you can use a Canadian credit card here. Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, 100%. The credit card is a credit card worldwide. MasterCard, Visa, you can use your Canadian. We use our Canadian credit card lots, And that was another thing. Someone commented about, no, I don't agree with you, Roger. I have Mexican friends. That's just your cheap ass. 15%. You talk to other people, it's 15, it's the same. It's 10 to 15%. 20% is generous for sure. But 15% is standard pretty much. And even the locals are tipping 15%. So it's just your cheap ass. You're American, so I'll forgive you for that. Frickin'. Thanks for hopping on though, Roger. Appreciate it. I gotta bug Roger. Roger's a dear friend of mine, so I'm just teasing him. So, but yeah, you can use the Canadian credit card. Now, someone had asked how much money they should bring, and I would like they never said how long they were coming from or coming for, I should say, and that that's plays a big factor in how much money you should bring. And I know when people talk about currency online too, that they don't mention what currency they want to bring. Like, are you coming from Russia? I don't know. Like, I realize your name's not Vladimir, but what currency are you talking? Are you talking Canadian? Ruble? Like what? Euro? What currency are you talking? Right. So that's a big factor. I see a lot of people do that. Well, how much, they'll talk about currency online, but they don't put, US dollars or Canadian dollars or euro or whatever. Like, so what currency are you talking? For one thing. So, but anyway, someone had commented about currency and I recommended, 10,000. They said they were going to an all-exclusive resort. So if you're going to an all-exclusive resort, you're only going to need money for tipping and then a little bit of trinkets, unless you want to buy a big ticket item. If you're somebody like Roger and wants to drop $5,000 on a big Mayan sculpture, you have all kinds of money to burn and you want to buy something really big and fancy, or you want to buy a bunch of silver for your beautiful wife or something like that, then I would recommend put that on your credit card, right? So 10,000 pesos would be more than enough for a week or even 2 weeks probably for tipping, unless you're a real booze hound and you're going to be flinging money all over the place, type thing. But I think as a general rule, 10,000 pesos is a pretty good budget. You can always hit up the machine for more money if you need it, right? So there's always ATMs on all the resorts has ATMs. So it's not a problem to get more cash if you need more cash. But I think if you're coming for 2 weeks, 10,000 pesos or even 5, depending, right? Like what, depending on your spending habits, what are you going to be doing? But I think 5 to 10,000 pesos is a pretty good start, for tipping money, and then to buy some trinkets. And then if you are going to buy some silver or something, don't buy silver off of anybody on the beach. Go to a reputable jewelry store or at the resort. A lot of times they got nice jewelry stores right on the resort. You're gonna be paying big bucks for it, but it's gonna be real. It's gonna be authentic, right? So maybe they'll cut you a deal, type thing. So, but yeah, don't buy silver on the beach. That's another thing. Someone commented, oh, they posted a picture. This guy's selling fake silver on the beach. Well, you're buying jewelry off a guy. Hey, I got some silver under my coat here. Like, chances are it's probably not real. So yeah, go to a reputable silver dealer jewelry stores. So yeah, anyway, I think 5,000 to 10,000 pesos is plenty sufficient, and you can use your credit card, whether it be Canadian, American, European, Russian. I'm pretty sure every credit card around the world would pretty much work. So pretty much. So anyway, I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb. And then, like I said, tip people 10 to 15%. That I'm just teasing, Roger. Obviously, you can absolutely tip 10%. But yeah, don't try not to use the ATM, but you can though. I mean, sometimes the fees are not that bad. So yeah, that's what we always did anyway. We would bring. I'm not sure how much money we would bring, but I remember we used to order money from the bank, and we'd always bring a big stack of American dollars. And then we stopped doing that when we realized it really was not necessary, because we just did what we were told, whatever people were saying online, right? So, and then after coming here so many years, right, like we don't need to tip with American dollars. We can tip with pesos. They're just fine. So we stopped doing that. We just would tip with pesos, so that was like, I'm talking like 15 years ago, when we were doing that. So, and we probably did that for about three or, well, probably close to 4 or 5 years before we stopped bringing the American dollars and just brought the pesos. But I remember we'd come with a stack of American $1 bills. Sorry. Yeah. Silver's getting expensive. Yeah. I good investment, silver for sure. Got to buy silver. Roger's all about that, silver and gold. Can't go wrong buying silver or gold. They're not printing any more of it, so I firmly believe. And silver, I heard, is they've been saying that for a long time. Silver is a really good investment because it's affordable. So, and they use silver and everything. So, and I still think silver is a good investment. So I was trying to find a place here where you could get like silver bars, but pretty tough. Really got to be careful nowadays. There's so many scams, right? That's the biggest thing. Everyone's out to rip you off nowadays. It's just so many scams. So, and the jewelry stores, they don't sell it. You can't. I asked the guy in the jewelry store. He's like, "Yeah, no, they don't have no silver bars. So you could go to the USA and get it. But here it's a little bit. You have to go to like the mint. A little bit trickier." I have a bunch of silver jewelry. We bought silver when we were here lots of different times from the resorts. So I never bought any silver on the beach. If I did, I didn't pay very much for it, and I already knew it was probably fake. So, and if I did buy any of it, I didn't, like I said, I didn't pay very much for it. So, and I already anticipated that it was fake. So, so yeah. So I think we're going to do the live stream, my friend, late like this. So, well, late for us old people. So yeah, because it's like 10 to 9 already here, right? So I think it's a little bit better to start a little bit later. I think 8 o'clock is a good time, kind of help out the people in the east, and it's not too late for the people in the west. And 8 o'clock's not too bad for me. I was thinking 9, but then I thought, no, I think 8 is actually better. So we're going to change all of the live streams. Well, other than the live on location. So That was another fun night. Just a couple nights ago, we went to that the band there playing the orchestra. So that was the Marines, the local Marine band from here playing the other night. Was it whatever night it was? We went live for that, and I got a copyright strike on that. So, but I left it. It's shared revenue, so there's a couple hundred people logged onto that video. So that was pretty cool. Thank you so much. Give me a thumbs up if you want to go back and watch a couple minutes of it. Check it out. It was a good night. The stream turned out good. It was good quality, good sound. The band was amazing. There's some talented people here. It really brought me back to Jalapa when I would go to the symphony with Roy. But we went to the actual symphony in Jalapa, to the symphony hall. And, this was outside on a stage, But again, still very talented performers, very, very talented. And they had, there must have been 30 people up on that stage playing and singing and drumming and trumpeting. And yeah, it was awesome. It was good. We had a lot of fun. So I kept the video rather short, about a half hour, but it's a half hour listening to a symphony. It's not everybody's cup of tea type thing, but I left it running for a bit because I enjoyed it. So I hope one or two people feel the same way and like listening to that type of music versus the old 80s rock and roll all the time. Those songs that you've heard a billion times already throughout our life and still hearing them. So, but yeah, I was quite busy down there anyway. It was a lot of fun. And I was very impressed with the performance that they put on, the stage that they put on, the people that were there. They had chairs, a lot of chairs set up, and then the bleachers were full. There was a few vendors kicking around there. So Jennifer and I, we watched that I didn't film the whole thing, obviously, because, it would have been just too long. And then plus it's eating up my data. It costs money. You guys aren't paying me enough money, so I can't afford to be doing that. So YouTube doesn't pay shit. So it's costing me money out there to be filming. So anyway, I kept it running for about a half hour. And then we did a little walk down by the ocean and the pier. It was pretty windy out though. So we didn't go out onto the pier, but we walked down by the ocean and by the sign, checked that out for a bit. And so we filmed all that in about a half hour, a little better than a half hour, I think, in total, the live stream is. So if you want to go back and check it out, it was just a couple days ago. It was the last live stream. I was going to go live today at the beach, but I just wanted to relax and take life easy. So, and enjoy some quality time with my wife. So we did that. We didn't do a live there, but yeah, if you want to go back and check that out. And then when we left the symphony, we went for a little walk and just Jennifer and I, and then we grabbed some tacos on the way home because we were both a little bit hungry, not like starving, but we just felt like having a little snack. Oh, we went for ice cream, of course, too. You can't not go out and not have ice cream. So, and there's this Italian ice cream place just down by where we parked the car. We always park down the road by the Fives. We go park down by the Fives all the time. And there's a little ice cream joint down there, a little Italian. It's quite a nice. It obviously was a home at one time. You can still see the hammock hooks in the wall. The traditional Yucatan Peninsula Mayan home with the hammock hooks everywhere. 5 hammock hooks, six hammock hooks in the living room. So anyway, yeah, it's quite a nice little ice cream shop. So we go to this one place to get tacos. And the guy that sells the coconuts, he walks up and down the beach. He's from Mexico City, apparently. He's a tall, skinny guy anyway. And he speaks pretty good English, which I find a lot of people from Mexico City do speak English. A lot of them from Mexico City speak English. So anyway, he was cooking in there, and Jennifer recognized him right away. And I'm like, oh, sit here by the chef's table. And there was a little window, and he was back there cooking. And he goes, oh, I recommend this. I can't remember what he said, but he recommended something off the menu. I was like, oh, it sounds good, whatever. I didn't even look at the menu. And then Jennifer's flipping through the menu, and she's like giving me that look like, and I'm like, what? And she's like, it's 200 pesos for tacos. I'm not paying that. She goes, okay, sorry, Coco guy, we're out. We're not paying the 200 pesos for your tacos. So we went down the street. It's all just restaurants all up and down there. So we went to another restaurant down there, about a block and a half away or whatever it was. And they were selling they had pastor tacos for for 100 pesos. Oh, Jennifer's got the TV going. It's I can hear it. You can probably hear the TV coming in through the door here. Turn your TV down. So anyway, they had tacos for 100 pesos for 4, and they were loaded. So not a lot better. 200 pesos for both of us to have tacos. So we went there instead, and we had pastor tacos, and they were huge. Like, they were massive tacos. They were big. They put a lot of pastor meat on them. Damn, they were good. Really, really good. So, and then for 100 pesos for 4 tacos. Roger's probably piping in. I can get tacos for 10 pesos over here in Veracruz. Oh, you can't hear it. Oh, that's good. I was just waiting for Roger to say something about the price of tacos in Veracruz over there. So anyway, we had the pastor tacos for 100 pesos. So I made a little short of that on our new channel. So we do have a channel now that's dedicated strictly to shorts. I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to give it another shout out. You can check the link in some of the videos there. I've put it in. So you want to check out where the shorts are. We're not doing shorts on our channel anymore. And I think it's for the best, to be honest with you. So we'll talk about that briefly. We got a few more minutes yet. So, we'll finish the story about the tacos and then the ice cream first. So we have the tacos there. I had a Coke. Jen tried to get some Mica juice. It didn't have it. So she got a ginger ale. Gingy, he said. Gingy. She had a gingy. So she had a ginger ale. I had a Coke. There's Roger with this going. A complete meal for 60 pesos. Yeah, I like a complete meal for 60 pesos too. I was just waiting for that. That's Veracruz prices, though. This is Caribbean prices. Even 100 pesos at the Caribbean for 4 big. They were big, man. Like that guy, he put a lot of meat on there, or the girl or whatever. They were like that. There was a lot of meat on there. Yeah, they were good. So, and then, I had a Coke, and then the 4 tacos, and the salsa was good. I told him I really like muy picante salsa, so he brought me some habanero salsa. It was pretty good. And it was a pretty cool restaurant. Actually, it was called something habanero. I can't remember the name. Something habanero anyway. It's on the strip there. We biked by it lots. I got some video going by there. It's all full of restaurants. And they have license plates hung up all over. And I worked at Sherlock's in Sherlock Holmes pub, English pub in West Edmonton Mall. And we had dollar bills everywhere, from currency from all over the world in the bar, hanging up above the bar. All not just dollars, $5, $10, 20s from all over the world currency. They ended up taking it down and they donated it anyway. But these guys have license plates from all over. It was kind of cool. I seen plates from Saskatchewan, even a little Yukon plate from the Northwest Territories, a little polar bear. And I know that it was from a Skidoo or an ATV, an all-terrain vehicle, because it was a little guy. And I worked up there, and I had one of those plates, and I wish I would have kept it. And I had the big license plate, too, with the polar bear. And then the little one for the Skidoos and the ATVs have the little polar bear license plate. And that's what they had there. So that was kind of cool, kind of a little flashback for my Northwest Territory years when I worked up in the Arctic Circle for 5 years. Beyond the Arctic Circle, I worked for 5 years. It was pretty cool. So yeah, up there they have the polar bear plates, and they had some there, the little one. And I'm sure it was probably from a Skidoo, because it's more common having a Skidoo up there than a ATV. I mean, there is ATV up there. I had both when I was up there. I had a Polaris quad, the 400s. Right when Polaris came out with the 400s, I had the 400 Polaris quad, and then I had the Indy Skidoo Polaris with 3 carburetors, the 600 Indy with 3 carbs. And man, that thing screamed. That was a fast sled, man. Yeah, 3 carburetors, 600 cc. It was pretty fast sled. Anyway, that was good times. So after that, and then we walked. It was pretty cheap, like I said. Whatever it was 300 pesos for the tacos and the Coke and the 2 drinks, maybe $3.10 or whatever. And then we went and got some ice cream. The ice cream's a little bit expensive because it is Italian ice cream. So we had that, and then then that was it. And then we walked back home. So that was our night out. We went checked that out. Jen found it online, so wanted to go have a look and get out. So it was nice anyway. Good night out. Good night out. Skidoo. Yeah, Veracruz is cheap. That's right. If you want to live somewhere that's cheap, get away from the beach. That's all you got to do. Get away from the gringos and get away from the beach. If you want to live in Mexico where it's cheap, go into the mountains, the small pueblos, small towns where it's cheap. As soon as you leave the beach, it gets a little bit cheaper. The rent is the big thing. The food price, like dining out, there's really not that much difference. And even the food, I mean, it might be a little bit cheaper, but not a heck of a lot. Not the food. If you're shopping at the market, you get some stuff. I mean, vegetables are vegetables. It's really not that big of a savings. The fruits and vegetables, like I say, a little tiny bit. Where you really save is the rent. That's where you really make the saving when you're living in the mountains. You're going to pay, like if you want to eat ribeye steak and New York steak in Veracruz, you're going to pay for it. You might get it a little bit cheaper than here, but not much. It's going to be roughly about the same. And same with the fruits and vegetables. They're going to be roughly about the same. There's not going to be much of a difference between the food when it comes to inland and the beach towns. It's the rent is where you save, and the power. The rent and the power, the utilities. Especially the power. The power also, it will be cheaper, but you're not using the AC. So, without that air conditioning running, you're going to save big time, But really, it's the rent. That's the biggest noticeable saving is the rent when you move inland. That's when you really notice the savings for sure. So that's been our experience anyway. Again, I'm only talking from our experiences only. Your experiences might be different. Speaking the language also will help a great deal too, Roger. That also helps a great deal. Speaking the language and being fluent in the language, not mumbling through it, but being fluent will also help you a great deal in your cost here as well, for sure. 1000%. 1000%. And I can honestly say I've seen locals' demeanor change when Jennifer starts speaking a little bit of Spanish to them versus just talking English to them. So I've seen it in their facial expressions and their eyes and everything, how their mannerisms change. Doesn't happen all the time, but I've seen it happen more than once. When she starts speaking a little bit of Spanish to them, their demeanor changes a little bit. 1000%. 1000%. So highly recommend you learn the language. Learn the language of the country you're living in. Just like us in Canada and for people in the USA. You hear them all say, you want to come to my country? Learn our culture and our languages. Well, it's no freaking different here. You want to come here, learn the culture and the languages and live with the culture. Don't try to change it to your culture. Nothing worse than seeing that. Fit in or get out. I would use a bad word, but fit in or get out. So good times. So we'll hop onto the comments quickly here and we'll wrap her up, my friend. Thanks so much, Roger. Christopher, for hopping on. Sean, as always, we truly appreciate you, my friend. And Roger, good to have you back with us. You haven't been for a while. Christopher, obviously, love you, brother. Love you all, man. Local weekly markets are a joy. Yeah, I love going to the markets too. I really do. I love it. I would rather go to the market than Costco or Walmart or even Chedraui. You know, we got a little, oh, we did find, I haven't talked about that in a while. We'll get that out first. We did find a nice little market that we like going to. We've been there a couple times now, and we'll go back. We did buy some chicken from there, and I don't think we'll buy the chicken again. I think we'll just stick to our butcher from there. But the produce and all that was good. So it's a good little market. So we're going to be going back there. So we found a market. We got our market. We got our butcher. We got the chitterari on the port side that we like. So getting all set up. Things that we really like, we found. So we know where to go and what to do. We got our spot on the beach. We know where we like to be on the beach, away from all the people. So it's not too people-y. Obviously, there's still people, but if you go further down the beach, it's not as people-y. So we kind of like that. So we're getting settled. We're getting things figured out, and we're finding our spots. We're finding our groove, sort of say. So that's good. We got a good church. Met a lot of great people. Got to meet some great local people now. I met a few local people, but not too many. I got to get away from the gringos. I mean, I love you, whiteys, but I need to make some Mexican friends. How am I going to learn the language hanging out with all you whiteys all the time? How am I going to learn the language hanging around with all you whiteys? Yeah, for sure. 1,000%. 1,000%. I'm very thankful for Jennifer, and her Spanish has come a long ways, and she's still improving, and I'm still struggling, and I'm still practicing every day. That I got to practice more, but I'm not giving up. So, and I do, honestly, I practice every day. So, and I'm not going to give up. So with that being said, my friend, we are over an hour. So I'm going to go and enjoy some quality time with my wife before bed. And I am ready for bed, to be honest with you. So new live stream Sunday, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Central Time. Give me a thumbs up. God bless everybody out there. Peace on earth. And as always, be kind to one another. It's supposed to go peace this way, apparently, according to my good friends at Carnival Cruise. This way is bad, apparently, and this way is good. I don't know. Whatever. Peace. Adios. Hasta luego. God bless. Have a great night, you guys. Thanks for hopping on.